Ladies, gents, May 26, 2020, 1.5 minutes to the US Cash Open, first trading session this week. My pleasure to be with you. Piotr here, this Live Forex Global YouTube channel. So without the further delay, let's start right here, right now. All right. So what we are going to do as usual, we are going to monitor first 5-minute trading range just for you. The reminder, we're discussing about that quite a few times. We are testing some kind of the really impressive supply. There is a still possibility to go eventually 2% higher towards 3065, all right? But I'm very curious what we are going to get today, how we are going to trade towards the end of the week, end of the month. Just a reminder, end of the month, end of the week flow probably will dominate. So, you know, I'm not gonna be surprised if we are going to see some Fed money in action, right? So that's the one word, right? One word. The second word is a little bit different. We are talking about, for example, let me find it for you. Let me quote it for you. 1 second, guys. Yeah. For example, more than 90 countries request IMF bailout. So that's where we are. That's the world we are living, right? That's the real one, right? The stocks is this virtual right now. The guys are pumping their wallets. So that's how it looks. Of course, from the trading perspective, I'm going to monitor that very closely when we are going to be towards the end of the day and end of the week, end of the month, because either the current price action is gonna force me to close my short position, or depends on what is going to happen, I might even increase the short position when it comes to the indices, right? Now, next interesting thing when it comes to the growing tension between US and China, right? China soybean imports from Brazil increased 2.6% to 5.94 million tons in April. At the same time, China bought 665,591 tons of soybean from the US in April, down 62% on a year. ECB says more severe downturn may put public debt on unsustainable path. Nothing new. I think that we are already there, right? More from ECB. Debt sustainability risk after public virus spending. ECB sees weak bank profits, corporate downgrades as a risk, insurers under pressure from low rates, asset prices. ECB says property price correction more likely due to a virus, right? ECB says sovereign spreads may rise further, impacting banks, corporates, right? So plenty of that real news when it comes to the real world compared to the stock indices as a completely separate world. Anyway, a little bit of the rejection from this important level when it comes to the S&P 500, all right? So that's quite significant. Still, we have like 2.5 minutes to go towards the end of this first 5-minute trading range. Still plenty of time. Now, what I'm gonna to look for? Well, from the intraday perspective, that was pre-market open trading range. All right. So what I would like to see here, I would like to see break to the downside, then retest of the 50% of that range, or maybe even top of that range. Why? Because the day open is close to the top of that pre-market trading range, right? So we will see. Then I'm going to try to trade the downside, where I'm going to try to trade the downside from the 3,000 15-ish, right, down to daily open somewhere towards 2,985, 2,980, right? So not that big deal, but the stop also is gonna be tight eventually. That's how I see the things when it comes to the indices. We will see what those guys are going to try to do. Indices might eventually get a little bit of the support from oil. Looks like we might have some kind of the false break to the upside, right? That's what we have here. Intraday false break to the upside, what we have here. So the first target is gonna be daily open around 33.90, 33.80, right? And the second, the whole range we did over the course of the day to the upside, the same range to the downside. The second target is gonna be around 32.90, 32.80. Depends how we are going to get the close of this early candle. If it's going to be somewhere here, right? Then I wanna see some kind of the retest, finishing the business. I'm going to look at 34.55. We were discussing FX earlier today. Gold is trying to hold 1720, but I think because of the rejection, because of what we've seen here especially, right, and then what we've seen when it comes to the retest, I think that we got back inside the range. So I think bottom of that range with stop count, so levels below 1700 down towards 1685, we might see in the near future. Breaking even lower might expose again 1640 when it comes to the gold. All right, let's get back and see where we are at the end of the first 5-minute trading range. All right, so it was the very weak range to the downside. That's quite significant, but we are still trying to hold the overall range related to the pre-market over here as of now. Very interesting, and I think it's worth to watch in the meantime what is going on when it comes to the dollar Chinese yuan. We are talking about this growing tensions. The market is retesting the high. We have a little bit of the rejection. I wonder who is buying Chinese yuan here. Some kind of the intervention, but you know, well, for Chinese guys, the break to the upside could be okay. It may not be okay when it comes to overall risk sentiment. We will see. We will see. It's worth to watch, worth to monitor. Anyway, looks like we are going even lower. So there is no change in view when it comes to the S&P. Let's have a look what we have on the DAX. Very similar story. Here, if we are going to end up the whole week below the blue zone, right, that's gonna be huge rejection, right? Of course, we have to take into the consideration the thing that it's end of the month flow, right? Well, that's looks, well, almost juicy. If the Europe can close with a huge rejection, that could be juicy. With the first possible stop around 10,800. I mean, first possible stop when it comes to the downturn, right? So all I wanna see on the DAX is rejection. Okay, folks. So earlier today we did first trading session when it comes to the FX majors. Right here, right now, first trading session. Just a reminder: UK and US long weekend behind us. So it's actually the first trading day today, and looks like some fireworks are coming. So overall, as discussed previously, the dollar been weaker a bit, but by tomorrow I think it might be some kind of the midweek reversal. The question is if the flow is related to the profit taking ahead of the end of the month, or it could be something different, but then we are going to witness that at the beginning of the June, right? With indices, we are right here right now when it comes to the S&P and DAX DJ. We are at significant supply levels, but I want to see where we are going to be closer towards end of the day. If necessary, of course, end of the day update is gonna be prepared and uploaded here on Forex Global YouTube channel. It was my pleasure, guys. Be careful, be careful. End of the month is coming. End of the month is coming. Lower exposure, higher volatility could be in place. So don't be trapped, guys, and see you around. Take care and goodbye.